Endurance Junkie podcast, episode 54. Hey Junkie, welcome to another episode of the Endurance Junkie podcast, the show where I will be interviewing some of the fastest, smartest, and most inspiring people active in the endurance world today. Joining me now is Daley Ervin, and he's part of Team Beyond, which is founded on the belief that it's only by testing ourselves to our limits that we can find the true capacity of the human spirit. Together with his partner Phillip, Theodore, the team is committed to pursuing opportunities to empower, inspire, and materially aid individuals battling with hunger, clean water, and cancer. Daley, thanks for taking the time to chat here today. And for those of us who don't know you, can you start off by telling us a bit about yourself, your own sporting background, and how you ended up in endurance sports?
Yeah, sure. So, God, I guess it's... it starts way back. I'm originally from kind of middle of nowhere in Washington State, and I grew up kind of playing basketball and baseball, and that kind of led me into university where I played baseball. For my first couple of years, it was I was still in love with baseball, and then it kind of fizzled out, and I was looking for my next challenge, and someone dared me to do a triathlon. So I think my first race was an Olympic distance race in Tempe, Arizona, and from there it just kind of perpetuated as things do in endurance, where you do an Olympic race, and then you do a half Ironman, and then you do an Ironman, and then it just kind of excels from there. So I think my first race was in 2007. I think I did an Olympic, and then every 3 months I was kind of upping the distance, and eventually, right when I was graduating university, I did the Ironman Brazil down in Florianopolis. And that's actually where I met Phillip, Theodore, my rowing partner for this race coming up. So we were staying at the same hotel, and we just kind of hit it off and made quick friends. And then he was doing a bunch of other races around the world, and I just kind of tagged along, and a 50-miler here and there, and a 100-miler there on the ultramarathon side. And that was almost 10 years ago now. So that's kind of the history, but it started out just humble beginnings in playing baseball and basketball, and then it's led to crazier and crazier races. And that's where we're at now. Fueled by Phillip, I guess, or did you have that desire as well to go longer and longer? Yeah, well, I think or you guys push each other along? Yeah, I mean, we're extremely competitive. For instance, we always have bets who's going to win a race. We did the St. Croix half Ironman, and I bet that obviously that I would win. I ended up losing, and I had to wear a tutu. And I ended up meeting Miranda Carefree, and I have a picture with her, and I'm dressed in a tutu and a tube top. So we definitely push each other a lot, and that's he was the first one to do a 100-miler out of the both of us, and then it just kind of. It was my turn to do it, and I did the Leadville 100 last year. So how did you guys do in those races? Are you pretty competitive, or is it just about beating each other and beating your own personal times, or do you guys actually go for age group wins, for example? No, I don't think we're that competitive. I think it's more of an act of doing, and then as we started doing the ultra distance stuff, it was more of just really completing it was the goal. For the triathlons, I think we're both kind of middle of the pack guys. We have full-time jobs, and we work 60 to 80 hours a week, so there's not much time to train. So we just enjoy being out there and enjoy the sport enough to kind of keep going. Cool. So the reason that I'm having you on is to talk about Team Beyond and the Team Beyond Foundation. First of all, can you explain what Team Beyond is and why it was created? Yeah, so Team Beyond is a foundation that Phil and I set up. We got to a point where we were doing races, all over the world, and we were having a lot of fun, and we realized, it was a very selfish endeavor, and we wanted to give back, and we wanted to give back through endurance. And so the first challenge that we took on, we wanted a very ambitious goal, and after the Ultra Trail de Mont Blanc in France, we were kind of in in a pub having a beer, and this guy came up. He's like, "Oh, you guys think you guys are?" I think some English guy. He's like, "Oh, you think you guys are tough? That you guys have finished the Ultra Trail de Mont Blanc. If you want a real race, you should try the Atlantic Challenge, the Talisker Whisky Atlantic Challenge." So that was kind of the impetus of Team Beyond, is that we're like, okay, let's do something really, really serious. Let's do a big race, and let's start our own foundation and reward people that don't have the means to help themselves. So, our goal with Team Beyond is to raise $5 million for our charity, and it's going to help feed hungry Americans. It's one of every 5 Americans doesn't know where their next meal is going to come from. Oh. And so we thought that was a hugely ambitious goal. And not only that, is that we want to win this race and really try to highlight the foundation as much as possible. So it's a 3,000-mile race, and we want to be the first Americans to win it. And we also want to raise $5 million to support our charity.
Yeah, well, is that going well so far?
Yeah, so far it's been fantastic. We've been able to kind of rally a fantastic team around the foundation. We have an amazing president in Jeff Smith that's done a bunch of different fantastic things in charities and celebrities and stuff like that. We've got an amazing training crew. We work with a group out of London called CHHP. They work with a bunch of Olympians and Chelsea and Arsenal soccer players. And we've got trainers here in New York, and it's everyone that we've kind of brought into the fold and told about what we're doing wants to get involved. So we have unbelievable support. I think we've raised just under $400,000 for charity already. So we're off to a good start, and we're just kind of getting started really with it.
Yeah, because the race is in December, right?
December 15th of this year is when we're the proposed set off period is from La Gomera in the Canary Islands.
Okay, because it's an actual race with other foolish teams involved, right?
Yeah, exactly right. I think there's a bunch of fools doing it this year. So this year it's actually going to be the biggest race in the race's history. So usually there was only about 20 teams, ranging from solo rowers to pairs and fours. This year there's already 40 teams entered, and it's a fantastic turnout. I think this year will have more coverage than most, and we're doing our part to kind of highlight it as well.
Yeah. And it's the Canary Islands to Antigua, right?
Yeah, so it's there's a little island next to Tenerife called La Gomera. Okay. And it takes off from there. You basically head south 300 miles and then take a right and go to Antigua, which is another 2,700 miles to the west. Yeah,
so it's a big change from doing triathlons and ultramarathons. How do you prepare for something as epic as this?
Yeah, I mean, it is a big change. We're still doing a bunch of ultramarathons. I think Phil's done a few this year, and I'm doing Leadville again this year as well. So it's
good physical preparation, I guess.
Yeah, exactly right. We're not doing as much running because we're really focused on putting on weight. But actually, repeat the question real quick. Sorry.
Well, yeah, it's a big change from doing triathlons, and the preparation must be something completely different.
Oh. 100%. So when we're just doing ultras, it's majority of just long, slow days out on the trails, a lot of hiking, a lot of leg work. Rowing is completely different, and Phil and I have never rowed before in our life. It was so we're really starting from scratch. And what we realized we've talked to the past winners and trainers and stuff like that. And when you cross the Atlantic Ocean, you lose about 20% of your body weight. When you're going across, so you're burning, I think about I think it's like 16,000 calories, and you can only eat about 10. So one of the things that we really need to focus on is putting on mass. So I weigh about 175 pounds. When I go to the race, I'll weigh about 195, and it's good weight. It's a lot of muscle weight. So as opposed to kind of just running and doing cardio activities for ultras, this is more about power and strength. We do a lot of CrossFit. We spend a lot of time in the gym. So the current training plan that we have with CHHP in London is that we row 4 days a week. And these rows are anywhere from about 45 minutes of interval training to an hour and a half, kind of an endurance row. And then we lift 3 to 4 times a week as well. And this is kind of split between 2 leg days and 2 upper body days with core work in between. So it's nearly a full-time job.
Yeah, and it's completely transforming your body.
Yeah, so it's, just on my side, when I did the Leadville 100 last year, I was about 165 pounds, probably around 5 to 6% body fat. Already I've put on about 10 pounds, and I'm upping the body fat to closer to like 10%. Mm-hmm. And, it's really funny. From when I was, playing baseball in university, I was much, much bigger. And then I went through the whole triathlon phase and ultra phase, and you just completely suck your body down to, really minimal weight, because you don't want to, you're there for distance, not speed. And so I've seen the transformation twice, from big to skinny and thin to trying to get big again, which is it's a fun period. It's exciting to go through.
Yeah. How about the mental aspect? Because you're going to be spending, I think, around 40 days together.
That's the goal. Yeah. So the record is 38 days. And, on the mental side, it's, doing these 100-mile, ultra marathons and 24-hour races, and Phil's done a bunch more than I have. Is you figure out yourself pretty good. Like low times during the race usually come when your nutrition's really screwed up and you're all imbalanced. And, we've kind of figured that out. Just through trial and error, and then just being locked in on a boat with another guy for 40 days is enough to drive anyone crazy. And it's just we're doing everything we can to kind of prepare ourselves for that. It's we have a really, really strong relationship, so it's not you got to be tested there at sea as bad as most will. But we're spending a lot of time speaking to past winners of the race and just kind of seeing how they got through it as well. So we're trying to do everything we can, both physically and mentally, to finish up in Antigua as the first boat.
Yeah. So what makes you think that you can actually achieve that and win the race, especially if you've never rowed before? It's a pretty big task, a pretty daunting goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that question a lot, and it's the funny way of answering it is sometimes there's confidence in ignorance, I guess you can say. But in all seriousness, we're taking it very, very seriously. We've enlisted the best boat builder in the world to build our boat. He's also coming on as our coach full time, and he set the solo world record a couple years ago in 35 days. So we're training with him every single month. We've got some world-class physicians that are working with us in terms of strength and conditioning. And, and Phil and I are taking it very seriously. The team that wins is usually the one who spends the most time on the water and the most time in the boat. And, we're planning to spend between 500 and 1,000 hours prior to race day. So when we arrive in La Gomera, we're going to be in the best shape of our lives, and in the most advanced boat in the fleet, and we'll know that we've done everything possible to at least be considered one of the guys that should be winning the race.
Yeah, all right, good luck. Getting back to nutrition, you said you guys are going to be spending like 16,000 calories a day, but the human body is only capable of absorbing about 10,000, right, I think. So I guess you guys are on a special diet now for sure, but actually during the race as well. How'd you get that sorted? Logistics behind it?
Yeah, logistics are the biggest piece of it. It's we're eating so much food. The boat is not a big boat, so we have to be kind of conscious of what we bring on. We can't bring on cans of tuna fish and bottles of olive oil to cook things. A lot of our stuff is freeze dried food. It's densely packed nutrition. There's a couple companies that we've used called Mountain House and Fusion Foods out of the UK. And a lot of what we have is kind of a high fat diet. So macadamia nuts and chocolates and coconut butter and protein is probably going to be about 25% of our diet as well. So, but majority of it's going to be high fat. We need kind of a slow burn as we're going, as opposed to kind of sucking down gels as you would in kind of like a half Ironman distance. We need nutrition that can kind of stick with us as when we're out on the oars for 4 to 5 hours. But yeah, so it's nuts and packed vacuum sealed tuna fish with olive oil, and really anything we can get our hands on. Chocolate is probably the number one food for rowers, I would say, just because it has a little bit of everything that you need in there. So
that's not too bad. Yeah.
No, we're not going to be eating crackers and that's it. It won't be too bad.
Yeah. Okay. Because I've done a couple of Ironmans myself, and you've taken down all these gels and everything and all that sugar, and you're just completely fed up with that after the race, that you're craving for salt, and you head out for the first McDonald's that you see. You have any idea what your first meal is going to be when you get on shore again?
So kind of the tradition when right when you first get over there, they'd shove a burger and fries and a Guinness in front of you,
okay.
which is kind of that's pretty much exactly what I would want anyway. But that's once you get to Antigua, there's a restaurant that you land at, and that's you don't even wash off before they hand that food to you. So, but yeah, I mean, ideally that's exactly what I have. But most after like ultras and triathlons and stuff, it's usually a steak. It's usually a steak and a beer is usually the go-to.
Yeah, beer, definitely go for beer. What's the plan after the Atlantic? I mean, I guess you want to continue with Team Beyond and definitely with the foundation after that.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why we set up Team Beyond is that we wanted to last beyond just the race. A lot of the guys who a lot of the teams that enter into the race, they pick a charity and they raise some money. The most of the expenses get covered, and then whatever's left kind of goes to the charity. And the way we wanted to think about this is that we wanted this to live beyond this race. We wanted it to be, kind of the next Live Strong, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And, I think the races will get a little bit more and more audacious as we go on. You can't row across the ocean and then sign up for a 5K type of thing. It's we'll do something equally as ambitious. It'll probably involve a few more athletes as we kind of grow bigger in size and can support more and more people through the foundation.
No, but there's no really big plan already that you have in the back of your mind.
I mean, there's one. It sounds super ambitious, but Charlie Pitcher, who's our coach and boat builder, he just has an amazing network of people, and he was telling us about this Russian rabbi guy who's sponsored by the Russian government, and he's doing a circumnavigation of the Earth with human power. So he's rowing the oceans, and he's either running or cycling the continents. Mm-hmm. And there's never been an American team or an American to do that. So we were thinking, in a few years, an ambitious goal would be to kind of circumnavigate the globe on our own kind of human power.
Yeah, that sounds cool. All right. How can people get in touch or support the foundation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so we just launched our website, which is teambeyond.org. There's ways to kind of financially get involved on the website as well, but the easiest way to kind of get in touch with us is through the website. Sign up for our newsletters. We're on Twitter at Find Your Beyond, and we're also on Facebook for teambeyond.org as well. But yeah, we answer everything. We're always on Twitter, and that's probably the easiest way to get to us.
Awesome. I'll definitely put those links in the show notes pages. Cool. Yeah, feel free to give some love to sponsors or partners.
Yeah, so far, I mean, it's like I said, everyone that we've asked to get involved has got involved and is super excited about it. Probably the people that we need to thank most is CHHP out of London. They're the guys who are putting together our rowing plans and really have kind of backed us from a physical and mental standpoint. And then Charlie Pitcher, our coach, he owns a boat building company called Rannoch, which is It's a carbon fiber and Kevlar kind of mix. It's the same material that they build F1 cars. And so far, in terms of sponsorships, Phil and I have self-supported the entire row, and we're kind of in the middle of pitching sponsors as well at this time. We've got a lot of people lined up, and it's that this is the exciting part of just kind of aligning big brands with what we're doing and tying them into like the long-term vision.
Okay, I guess all the preparation and then during the race itself, people will be able to follow that on the website. Or is there a separate website for the race?
Yeah, for the race, it's sponsored by the Talisker Whisky Company. So it's the Talisker Whisky Atlantic Challenge. Each boat has this service called Yellow Brick, so you can track us down to probably the nearest 10 meters during the entire race, and you can follow every single boat. You can follow like their Twitter updates and stuff, and their blog posts and stuff like that on the website. It's a fantastic service. The last year that you can watch it, you could wake up and you'd see the boat move 60 to 90 miles a day. It's pretty cool. It's a great service.
All right, excellent. Well, good luck with preparation, and maybe it would be a good idea to catch up with you or with Phil just before you guys set off in December.
Oh, we'd love that. Yeah, we'd absolutely love that.
All right, anything else you want to plug?
No, man, we're all good on our side.
All right, excellent. Thanks for your time, Daley. As I said before, good luck with your preparation, and let's keep in touch.
Perfect, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.